about Saturday's weather yet because it was not quite as warm in the forecast last week, but it turned into yuck on Saturday.
It was bad. It was
another
yucky.
one of them cold, misty, rainy days. So, as advertised, we ran the event on Sunday.
And wow, did we have a pit full of cars.
We did.
It was great.
It's been great in October
Yes.
for car counts. And, when we change the schedule, it throws a lot of folks off kilter, and so
It sure does.
they don't make it. But, we had the Colts game, and then the one race that everybody likes to watch is Talladega. So, but we didn't start till after the Colts game, and Talladega was about over. So, we had 3 great features.
Yes, we did.
Saturday night. And we started out with 100 laps of street stock action. We had, I think, 20 cars
20 street stops.
showed up.
Good
and,
field.
it's kind of a deja vu experience. Josh Poor in the 27 car was the fast qualifier. I didn't get to see any of the races, so the folks are depending on you this week. Don't let them down.
I will not let him down. Josh Poor started on the pole as we started straight up. He did have some early competition from Jason Atkinson and Tyler Marsh, but they weren't able to get around him. I believe he led from start to finish on that one. We did have a couple incidents there with a couple cars that did lose some engines, which kind of this time of the year we kind of expect that as they're kind of getting a little wore out and stuff. But overall, the racing was real good. Nothing major happened in that other than Josh ran with it and was victorious.
Very good. Then we had a 100-lap Vors Compact Touring Series race.
And
that
we
was
had a good 26, 27 of those that showed up Sunday, so that was a good field. And I believe it was Kevin Harmon on that one. Those guys changed cars so many times that it's hard to keep up with who's in
what car. We'll talk about that when the
final
final points were done for the season because it kind of threw a curve to those.
Yeah,
too.
but Kevin Harmon led that one there. He had a lot of competition. I don't know a lot of the guys from the Vors series, so I think Chris Jennings was second in that feature. A couple of the others, Vors regulars were up there at the top 5, but Kevin Harmon, one of our own, came out victorious in that one.
Nick Warner set fast time in the 9 car, but Chris Jennings, who's been kind of a regular at the track. Jerry Dane was in the 10 car. He finished 3rd.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing Jerry in the 9 car, so that's
now his car. He purchased that off Jim Warner.
Okay.
Tommy Bigelow was in 4th place, and Jeff Williams in the 64 car finished in 5th.
That should make Grandpa happy, shouldn't it? Got a top 5.
I think so.
Yes.
Ron Phipps was 6th. Marshall Clark. What do you mean you didn't know any of these people?
I said in the top 3 or 4 there. I don't remember because they got a lot of them that run with Vors that don't usually
top
run
3
with
or
us.
4. Okay. Kevin Harmon, Chris Jennings, Jerry Dane, and Tommy Bigelow.
But Tommy
now
Bigelow.
You know him.
Okay, now I know him. Yes.
Had a little extracurricular activity at the end of that race. A little bit in the pits, and a couple guys got probation from the Vors series, but one did something that you are not supposed to do on the racetrack after the race, and Ryan Claiborne in the 17 car decided to
take matters in his own hands, I guess.
Matters in his own hands and run into a car under caution or after the race was over, and that pretty much ended his season in the first 3 races of 2015 for Mr. Claiborne.
Wow.
So, unfortunately, that happens. We don't tolerate it. Neither does the Vors series, and that's the way it is.
And
Fortunately, no one got hurt.
That's right. And
with this stupidity.
And I think we should thank Vors. They do a great job. Dan Redmond and Steve Vors and that whole group there. They're a great bunch to work with.
And even with Tom Bigelow there.
We got to pick on Tom. But
Tom is a great guy.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's another one of them guys that just loves racing no matter what kind of course. He made his name
He's a legend.
in open wheel.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's a legend in racing.
Raced at Indy, raced USAC, and was one of the heroes in USAC, and raced at Indy. Just a great guy, and now the next generation of Bigelows are coming through the
That's
ranks.
right. That's right. It's great to see him.
And had a long conversation, actually a couple of conversations with Dan Redmond with that Vors series, and I know you've heard us talk about them quite a bit. We're looking for some bigger and better things next year. We actually talked about one event that I'm almost positive we're going to do that you're really going to like. So
good. So stay tuned.
Pretty good. And we actually tried a couple things, different configurations on the racetrack with them, and the guys really like that too. So.
Yeah, they wanted to do something as far as like a race, I guess, with a chicane type deal, and we tried coming off the front stretch into the leg off of 1, back onto 2. They didn't like that one so well, and then going back on the back stretch. Didn't like that one so well, but then they come around 2, did the chicane, that the crossover back out 3, and they seemed like that a whole lot better.
So half of our hourglass race.
Yeah, there you go.
So we'll have a whole lot more of that. We got the whole winter to talk about.
That's right.
We had a 100-lap Thundercar event, and our points champion Curtis Chapman set fast time, but then it didn't work out so good in the feature.
No, Curtis was leading the race, and then the car blew up, and boy did it. He put a smoke screen all over the racetrack and down the infield, but Curtis did come out of that car okay. He was the fire crew was right on top of him, so it got him taken care of.
He got all out of that car he could.
Is that what? Yeah, he did. He sure did. But what a battle we had after the restart. After that happened, between Trent Gosser, Johnny McGee, and Eric Evans, and those 3 put on a great battle. In fact, toward the end there, the last couple laps there, Eric Evans was right on Trent's bumper, but Trent was able to hold him off and came out victorious on that 100-lap Thundercar feature.
Eric and Johnny are always tough when they show up at the racetrack, and to beat them, Trent Gosser, of course, racing's in his blood.
He's
a great kid, and I say kid. I know they hate me saying that. I used to hate that when I was a kid. Them old guys called me kid. I don't like being called an old guy. But congratulations to Trent Gosser and all 3 of our winners. A great race, 100-lap triple 100s.
My one threw out there, we need to thank one guy in particular from PGG Industries, Paul Glinser. He put an extra bonus out at halfway for each one of those features, and thanks to Paul for doing that. He's kind of been a big supporter of us all year long, especially for the late model division, but he did that for all 3 features Sunday.
And thank you to Wick's Pies for coming back and sponsoring that event for us.
Right.
There's a great sponsor, and we're looking forward to having them back again next year.
And the pies.
And hopefully I will get a pie this time. But, folks, out of all those pies they brought earlier in the season, I got not one piece. So
can you hear the crying on the other end?
Hear the pity party. We have a huge event coming up Saturday. And like I said, the weather is going to be beautiful. It's going to be a great afternoon to get out. We're starting early, and hopefully we'll be done with the racing part of it right around dark, and then we are scheduled to have a big fireworks show after that.
But we're going to kind of put 2 things together that you've been wanting to do for quite a while.
We're going to try something, and we're going to keep massaging this one until we get it right where we want it. But it's going to be pretty neat. We're going to have a IWF championship wrestling match out in front. We're going to have the full ring, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be out around the pavilion. I'm not exactly sure where, because Kenny has been working with Rob on setting up the ring. But the Powers of Pain are going to be there. The Barbarian and the Warlord are going to be there, and they're going to show us how professional wrestling's done. You can get up close and personal.
That'll be fun to watch.
That starts at 3:30 this Saturday. It'd be out front. We couldn't put the ring on the infield because we're racing that night. It takes too long to put it up and take it down, so the folks don't have to wait so long in between the races. But we're going to do that at 3:30. The gates are going to open at 2. And here's something else that's going to happen. After that, at 4:30, we're going to have a trunk or treat for all the kids. Be neat if the kids dress up, but you don't have to. And any of our competitors that are interested, I know Amy's talked to a few that are going to be out there. Any of our competitors that are interested can bring the race cars out. We'll park them out there in front in the grass, and we're going to give some candy to the kids for Halloween.
That'd be great. That'd be fun.
And then at 5 o'clock, we're going to hit the racetrack with some
crazy stuff.
And by the time we're over with, the racetrack's probably going to look like a disaster, like it always does. And if it doesn't, then we've failed.
Yes.
But we've got a corkscrew race. We're bringing back the mattress race. We're going to have hourglass race, rollover contest, and I know we've already got several cars entered for the rollover.
Good.
And then we're going to cap off the racing with the Tom Raper's RV trailer race.
That'll be fun, as always.
Then once that's over with, and assuming that it's dark by that time, we're going to have a big fireworks show to cap off this part of the season. We still got another race coming up this Saturday after Thanksgiving Turkey Bash. I think we've got street stocks, Thunder cars, front wheel drives, oval and 8, and probably mini cups that days.
But come out this Saturday, because this is always a fun night. All of us crew, we always have a good time with this one as well too. But if you've never seen fireworks at Anderson Speedway, you've got to come out and see them. They're always spectacular.
Really?
They are. You do put on a good fireworks show. I've heard that from many, many people. And you're proud of that, too, I can tell.
That's my claim to fame.
It is.
I can't run a race, but I can put on fireworks.
You're a firebug.
I am in the middle of creating the schedule for next year, which is not an easy task. In fact, I got, where I get put in the middle of things, which I try to keep the racers out of the middle of controversies with sanctioning bodies and everything. We've had it with, primarily here lately, it seems like it's the, sprint cars and the wing cars. There's 3 different series out there. I talked to Jim Hanks, and all the series have their own idiosyncrasies, but we've worked pretty close with Jim Hanks in the past and planning on it next year. And this afternoon I got a call from Davey Hamilton, who runs a national series that I think he runs 6 races, if I'm not mistaken. King of the Wings series. They runs, I think, 3 on the West Coast and 3 back here in the East. And we're going to talk about maybe bringing one of his shows to the track next year.
That'd be cool.
His son's actually testing tomorrow out at the track.
We've actually seen his son race a couple weeks ago. I think he got second or so.
He was in Mike Blake's car.
Yes, yeah.
As a matter of fact, and up and coming, 17 years old, and following in Dad's footsteps.
He sure is.
But he's going to be out testing tomorrow afternoon.
Good. At
the track in his sprint car, just shake it down. Not sure if it's Mike's car, if he's got his own, or what's
now. Is he going to shake down a wing or non-wing? Do you know?
I don't know.
Might be doing both.
You never know.
It's his track tomorrow, isn't it?
A lot of young kids coming up to that group. Of course, Jared Andretti, and we've been talking to him quite a bit here lately. He has huge plans for next year, and and he comes from a great family and he's got a good group behind him, Andretti Motorsports.
Yes, he does.
His cousin Michael and Dad John and everybody are behind that. They want to get more involved with not only Jarrett's career, but with grassroots racing. So
good.
We're putting together some things that are going to be really neat, not only for the whole season, but especially for the Little 500 next year. So
I know the things that you and I have talked offside about Little 500 next year just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
We're going to have a bigger racetrack.
That you're not the main, what do we call behind the grandstand, the
Midway.
Midway. But I kept wanting to say mainframe. I don't know why. The Midway. We're going to have a bigger one of those.
But things are, if you've got any suggestions, things that you like to see, things that you don't necessarily care for, email me at the track or call or whatever. Just let me know, because this is important. This is the most important thing I probably do all year, is put this schedule together. Right. And timing is everything on a lot of this stuff. And of course, next year we're going to have 5 divisions. I've announced that. We'll have the McGonigal engine late models back. We'll have street stocks. I haven't got the agreement signed yet, but it's agreed to and informed. We've got a sponsor on our new figure 8 division.
Stock figure 8, right?
We'll have the pro compacts, and then we'll also have Thunder Roasters. 5 divisions next year, so that'll be cool. And this figure 8 division is taking off. I mean, every time I talk to somebody, they're not just building a car. They're building 2 or 3, and I had one team, they're building 4 cars.
Wow.
So they're going to come back. We're going to set the ground rules right from the start, so learn from the past so we don't have the issues that we had in the past. And I think the fans are really going to be treated to some great figure 8 action.
Somebody told me that one of the cars we seen Sunday racing in the street stocks was something similar that we'll be seeing next year. It's similar.
I didn't particularly care for the front end of it. It didn't have fenders. It kind of looked more like a modified than it did a race car. But that's basically underneath it and everything is what we're looking for. So with fenders, that was a figure 8 car.
Yes.
So
and it looked awesome too.
We're going to have a great time with that next year. When we come back, we're going to talk about the awards banquet, who's eligible for awards this year, and who's going to get the hardware at the banquet at the Shrine Club on November the 8th, and talk a little bit about CRA and what's going on in NASCAR world. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. We'll be right back.
When I was a boy, we had family pitch-in dinners on Sunday, so I knew on Saturdays Mom would be in the kitchen baking pies, and especially sugar cream pies. I will never forget pulling a chair up to the table. I always turned the chair around back so I could perch on my knees while watching Mom take her fingers and flute the pie crust. You know, that little squiggly thing all the way around. And of course, after the pies were baked, we would beg and plead with Mom, only to have her put her foot down and say, nope, we were not going to get any pie until everybody came by tomorrow. But on Sunday at the family gathering, that first bite of pie was always worth the wait. Mom's a little older now, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy freshly made sugar cream pies together. Now, instead of Mom making them, I pick up a Wick sugar cream pie. They use simple, fresh ingredients because of Wick's rigid freshness standards. The wholesomeness and taste of their pies is better than Mom's. But don't tell her I said that. Now you can pick up a Wick sugar cream pie at most of your local grocery stores. Just look for them in the frozen dessert aisle. I'm Brownie, and I can honestly say about Wick's pies, you don't just eat them, you enjoy them.
Heart attack? Stroke? Serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care, with a state-designated Level 3 trauma center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter. And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Regional to learn more.
Honey, stop! Oh my gosh, that's Diggity's back there.
You mean the new Diggity's Frozen Treat Factory?
I heard it's unbelievable. Everybody's talking about it. They have everything yummy.
Yeah, I heard they have ice cream, yogurt, custard, sorbet.
And gelato, plus fruit smoothies, and that's just the beginning.
I heard Diggity's has over 250 toppings, not 30 or 40 like those other places, and you can even get the candy to go separately.
We can eat outside on their huge patio by the fire, too.
Okay, let's see. Frozen yogurt, ice cream, custard, sorbet, and gelato with 250 toppings, or a plain old frozen yogurt shop with limited toppings?
Diggity's it is!
Diggity's wants to cater your event. Diggity's can set up at your event inside or out and provide delicious smoothies, frozen cappuccinos, candies, and frozen treats to your guests. Diggity's is perfect for weddings, company picnics, group outings, sporting events, festivals, you name it, just call Diggity's. 765-393-0033 today for more information.
MoFab Incorporated, where imagination is the only limitation. We serve residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal customers as your metals warehouse and fabrication center. We do all types of fabrication using the latest technology with unmatched speed, accuracy, and durability on any substrate. Our ornamental division handles all types of interior and exterior work, including rails, fences, gates, and more. So contact us at mofabbing.com to fabricate your dreams of tomorrow today.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests, and not this station.
Little CCR to bring us back on the air. John Fogerty.
We said it simultaneously, so we're
I had
tied.
it on the first note.
Oh.
What do you want to say? You're on the air.
That's not fair.
Welcome back to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Rick Dawson, Gary Mong. We're talking about last weekend, and now we're talking about big weekend coming up.
Before I forget, hello, Aunt Jenny.
Is she listening tonight?
She should be listening tonight. She listens every week.
Well, I'm sure Louie and Libby are listening at home.
Might be howling.
Lauren and my wife Brenda, who, by the way, I need to thank. I don't do that very often for
putting up with you.
Well, I don't know if it's a bad thing or not, but I'm not at home very much. I spend a lot of time at that racetrack and doing racetrack stuff. So I appreciate them, and we're getting ready, of course, for a big event in December.
You are.
On 12, 13, 14, my little girl, who we were going through some pictures in the vault, and a lot of pictures I didn't know we had, old pictures.
Cool.
And you're going to see some of them on our Facebook page and on our website throughout the winter, but found a picture of Lauren and Shelby holding the trophies. I think that was might have been our first night.
That was 18 years ago, so they've been 6-ish.
Lauren was 7 and Shelby was 6. And now she's getting married, and she's 24.
Oh.
So it's been a while.
It has been. It sure does.
But that's coming up in December.
There you go.
And if you'd like an invitation to that, or would like to make a donation,
Brenda's probably screaming and yelling right now, or make a donation.
Call Rick. We could use the help. But we have another big event going on at the Madison County Shrine Club on November the 8th, which is just, 3 weeks away?
2 weeks from Saturday.
2 weeks from
this coming. Yeah, you better hurry.
You know how I love banquets.
I know. But this is their night, not yours.
I actually got out of one because USSA are having their banquet the same night as ours. And so that just left CRA banquet. It's hard for me to get out of that one. And then Dan Redmond tells me Sunday that their banquet is on January 31st and like for us to come up to Fort Wayne. So.
Okay.
And then Jim Hanks tells me he's having a banquet again this year. So I'm back in the banquet mode, unfortunately.
4 of them now, right?
Ugh. At least we don't have to go to the USAC or the ARCA banquet. The ARCA banquet, and I love that series. I love Ron Dreger and the whole group over there, Mark Gundrum, but their banquet is
long.
It is excruciating.
But for ours, you got
CRA's is too, but me and Irish Saunders up at Hoosier Tires seem to be able to get through it pretty good.
You kind of got your own agenda for that.
But our banquet, if you go to our website and you click on the information, and you can click on the postseason awards to see who is eligible and who are going to get awards. According to the rule book, to be eligible for postseason awards, you have to participate in at least 75% of the events. Just a couple of housekeeping things on that. I mean, if you show up and your car breaks, you were there. That counts as being there. If you were disqualified for non-car technical issues, if you were for sportsmanship, that takes you weren't there. So that may be a little
right
why this is kind of funky. But in our McGonigal engine late models, of course, Jack Dawsey III and his dad, driver and owner, are going to get the accolades for the McGonigal engine late models. And Jack Dawsey III is also Rookie of the Year in that division.
He had a good year. He had a really good year.
And Billy Van Meter, Jeff Markham, Kent Ballage, Rob Allman, Joe Woodring will all get awards. In the street stocks, Dustin Burge with Jimmy Stevens as the car owner is going to be there. James Kirby, who is a great rookie. In fact, he might be the Rookie of the Year in that division. We haven't got that up there for some reason. Will be the Rookie of the Year in that division. Andrew Cook, third. Josh Poor, Danny Adams, Bruce McFall. Bruce has gotten an award, I think, at every one of our banquets.
That's great.
In the Thunder Cars, of course, Curtis Chapman will take home the hardware, along with Robbie Wyman, Lonnie Burton, Austin Russell, Jimmy Hawkins, Kyle Allman, Morty Lewis, and Austin Hawkins. In the front-wheel drive figure 8, this is where it got a little weird with, we talked about earlier, switching drivers out of cars. First place owner would be Jeff Williams, and first place driver, Elliot McKinney.
Good for Elliot.
Just beat out Brian McKinney by like 100 points in the drivers, and the only time we keep drivers' points is just for the champion. That's the only one. So Elliot McKinney, even though his ownership of his car didn't win, he won by having more points than any other driver. Jeff Williams will be the owner's champion for his car. In the front-wheel drive oval, Jerry Dane is the driver with Jim Warner as the owner. And in the Pro Compacts, we had another one of those situations. Kevin Harmon's the owner, but he switched drivers in that car, I don't know how many times, maybe just once, I don't know. But after I went back and recalculated, Ron Phipps, who was last year's, or 2 years ago, our front-wheel drive oval champion, is a driver's champion in the Pro Compacts. And then, of course, in the Thunder Roasters, John Robbins, who is no stranger to the first place podium, is going to take home the hardware in the Thunder Roasters.
And that's a division that sounds like it's going to be really growing for next year.
They're selling more cars every time I talk to them.
That's great. I'll tell you, I've talked to a couple of people here at the end of the season, Rick, and a lot of people are encouraged that the car count we had at the very end of the year here, in all of our divisions, street stocks and thunder cars and the compacts and stuff. It's encouraging to see that kind of count, and I think we're going to see good fields next year.
Let me tell you what's happening in the industry, and thanks to you fans and our great competitors, we are on a very elite list in our industry. A lot of tracks, and I don't mean just a few, a lot of tracks are struggling, a lot of tracks are closing, as we've already seen
right
throughout
2 or 3 around
the
here.
series, and a couple around here. We're doing something right at Anderson Speedway, and I got to believe is that we're taking care of each other, and we have a passion for the sport, and our family, the one I keep talking about, is what's doing it, and I will not let that change as long as I'm at the helm. Now, there may be a lot of people who want to knock me off the helm, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And if you want to take over the mortgage with the right amount in your checkbook, you can. But we enjoy it. We have a good time, and we try to make everybody as happy as we possibly can. So. And
there's our nights that we're maybe too passionate, and we're at each other, and that happens because that's what happens in family. We may criticize each other on certain things, but at the end, it's all about the racing. It's all about taking care of the track and taking care of each other and taking care of the competitors and the race fans. So
hats off again if we can ever get him on this show, and if we could ever get him to the banquet. Kenny Wright is you don't realize what he does at that speedway, along with other. I mean, I could start naming names. Jack Neal and all these people that are just integral parts of that speedway, that the speedway could not function without those people and people like them. It's just too numerous to mention, and I hate leaving anybody out, but they all deserve
our whole group
great accolades. But this Saturday, and I'm not going to say Saturday night because it's Saturday afternoon.
Right.
The gates open at 2. Wrestling with the Barbarian and the Warlords are going to be there at 3:30. 4:30 is trunk or treat for the kids. We have drivers out there giving out candy. At 5 o'clock, we'll start racing with corkscrew races, the mattress races, the hourglass race. We're going to have a rollover contest, and then we're going to have the Tom Raper's RV trailer race. All this brought to you by our great friends at Stoops Freightliner. And then we're going to cap off the night with fireworks. And then we're going to take a few weeks off and then be back on November 29th.
The Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Turkey Bash.
Yes.
We appreciate you spending the time with us this evening. Enjoy this weather while we got it. Maybe it'll last all winter.
Let's hope so.
And then maybe we'll have a New Year's Day race again.
Uh-oh.
For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson. Have a great week, and we'll see you at the Speedway on Saturday.